Good morning, welcome to London, welcome to our Amway Experience Centre here in the heart of London, and welcome to Founders Councils Live. We have got a fantastic couple of days ahead of us. I'm Andy Smith, I'm the General Manager here of Amway UK, and our first guest in the studio here is our very own President, Mr. Doug DeVos. Welcome, Doug.
Andy, thank you, sir.
Welcome to London.
Thank you, nice to be here.
I know London's one of your favorite cities of the world.
Absolutely.
What do you love about it here?
Everything about it. The people are fabulous. Everything, the city is dynamic. It's alive. It's fun to walk around. It's fun to see the sights. It's just great to be here. You feel very comfortable. It's a city of the world.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
And you brought the weather with it.
We did.
We've
for the
had
first
the
couple
most
days.
beautiful sunshine for the last 2 or 3 days, but we're now back to normal, and we're raining today.
I kind of like it back to normal. It's okay. It feels good, all the change. That's that's what it's supposed to be. It's okay.
Yeah. And you know the UK very well, Doug, because
Absolutely.
we were just talking before we came on air. You were general manager of the UK business back in the day, back in the early 90s.
Right.
What are your memories from those times?
Gosh, we had so many fun memories of the business in those days. The best memories are the people, the Amway staff, and especially the Amway ABOs that we were with on a regular basis. The business was pretty small then. We only had a few emeralds, a couple diamonds, and a couple diamonds and above, and so we would visit their homes. We would connect with them in a variety of places, small restaurants with groups after meetings, late night drives, homes, a lot like ABOs. I mean, it was just a fun experience, and we think about it fondly, and we think about it often.
Yeah, and great training for you as a young executive.
Oh my goodness, fabulous role. Now you've got it. It's awesome, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, and this is a tough gig, Doug, because very often my leaders who were around in those days say, it's not like when Doug was here. And I'm like, okay, give me a break.
It's a lot better.
I've got to follow it. No, it's not. Okay.
It's a lot better now.
So listen, we're here in London with our Founders Council members, our top leaders from around the world.
Yes.
And I know many ABOs out there who are watching in kind of would like to know, how can they get to a similar level in the Amway business to give them some inspiration to join that elite group of ABOs?
Yeah. Well, there's a few things to remember about leaders at very, very high levels in the Amway business. The first thing is they all started the same way. Right. There's no shortcuts. The people who are here, many of them have been in the business a long time. They've worked very hard. They've gone through the ups and downs and the challenges just like anyone else. There were no special deals, no shortcuts, no additional support that they got over somebody else. They just stayed focused on their goals, and they worked really hard to achieve it. And the second thing is a lesson I actually got here from my time in the UK, meeting with the leader at that time, who told me that the Amway business is a simple business, but it's not easy.
Right.
It's challenging, it's difficult, it's hard work. It doesn't just happen. No business just happens. You have to do the work necessary. And I've used that, and I've thought about that a lot, that if we can keep the business focused on the few things that we have to do well, the few things that we have to do to make sure we compete in the marketplace, whether our products have to be competitive, our business opportunity has to be competitive, the support that we provide has to be world class, the ability to remove barriers so that we don't do anything to hold people back, those few things, and then just keep going to work every day. And I think that's why people are at any level of success in the Amway business, because they've done that.
Yeah. Great message.
Yeah.
Great message. Of course, our Founders Council members are just wonderful entrepreneurs, having that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
And we hear a lot at Amway about the Global Entrepreneurship Report that has been running for a few years now. Can you tell us a bit more about that, Doug? What it means and what it means for the future of Amway and for people looking for an opportunity in the business?
Sure. Well, obviously the entrepreneurial spirit is what started the Amway business in the beginning. My dad and Jay just had this idea of wanting to have a business of their own, and the belief that if someone had a business of their own, they could achieve great things. They could create success for themselves, but more importantly, by doing that, they could create an environment of success for others.
Right.
And so the entrepreneurial spirit is at the heart of who we are at Amway. As we look at in front of the headquarters building, there's the 10 pillars of economic wisdom that Dad and Jay bought an exhibit from the World's Fair in the 1960s, and the pillars were developed in the 1930s in the United States. And so these are the principles of economic wisdom that stand the test of time, which basically articulate the free enterprise idea. So our interest in the study is to see how they're being applied today. What do people feel about free enterprise today, or the entrepreneurial spirit? And what we find is it's alive and well. The entrepreneurial spirit's alive and well around the world. More and more people are interested in having a business of their own, and in stepping out on their own and being an entrepreneur. And that's incredibly positive. But we also found a few things that hold people back. They worry about getting capital, enough capital, money to start a business of their own. They worry about having the operational support. How am I going to make a product? How am I going to support it in the marketplace? Just operationally, how am I going to do things? And then third, they wonder, who's going to help me? Who has done this before? Who's going to walk with me and work me through, or give me the advice that I need? So you have a level of people who want to be an entrepreneur, and then there's a gap between those who want to be an entrepreneur and those who really see themselves doing it. And so our interest is in that gap. How do we, in the Amway business, how do we help fill that gap? And of course, if you look at those three areas of having capital in the Amway business, virtually no capital is required to get started. It's a lot of work. It's
free
sweat
to join
equity.
in the UK.
Free to join in the UK, and many markets around the world it's free to join. And secondly, all the operational aspects, our products are all, whether it's XS or Artistry or Nutrilite, we've been in the product business for a long time. We've demonstrated our ability to be successful in the marketplace. And so the operational resources and support that you get in your Amway business is known. It's a known quantity. We've been doing it for almost 60 years now around the world. And of course, the Amway business is built on people helping people. So we think in our business, we're able to close that gap. And we want to promote to people, we want to talk about the fact that people should not let those sorts of things hold them back. Right. And we want to encourage people to make a start and set their own goals and achieve what's best for them.
Yeah. And that's the spirit.
That's the entrepreneurial spirit.
And the spirit of Amway, very
Absolutely.
much so, even today. Almost 60 years on. So
almost, yeah.
60 years, 2019.
2019.
Oh, it's only 3 years away.
I know.
That's going to be some celebration, I'm hearing, without giving too much away.
Don't give too much away, but it's going to be fun. If you use the 50th anniversary as a base, then I think that's a good spot. We're going to try to make it better.
Fantastic. So just talking about the positive attitudes towards entrepreneurship, again, in terms of what it means for the direct selling industry as a whole, because obviously you're now the chair of the World Federation of DSAs. So how do you think that plays out within the whole industry?
Well, I
think positive attitude.
I think it does apply to the whole industry, and the whole concept that we have in direct selling, and Amway being a leader in the industry, we share it with other leaders in the industry that we want to help people. And it's a fun industry to be a part of, because we don't really compete or try to beat up on each other, because there's plenty of room for all of us to be successful, and tremendous opportunity. We're in many cases are so focused on opportunity that we can still celebrate if somebody's successful in another walk of life or in another business. But as an industry, I think it's important for us to be clear about who we are, to be clear and want to be known in the marketplace. A lot of times people don't understand our industry, so we have to help with the understanding. They think it's mysterious. They hear things about it and it's unclear to them, so we have to deal with that. In some cases, we've had people misrepresent the industry. They don't know what it is, and then they say something about it, and they say something negative. So we need to make sure that we're advocating our industry well. And one of the main areas, I think, whether it's for Amway or for other industry partners, is that we talk a lot about the business opportunity. And we should, because that's a magnificent part of our business model. But many times the products get lost.
Right.
And I think it's important for us in any business, and especially in the Amway business, to make sure that we have that balance. that we talk about our products, that we talk about a product like Nutrilite that's been in the marketplace for over 80 years now, that has number one in the world, that has established itself about our quality practices and our research and development, and that we also be known for our product quality and our market share in the marketplace, and how we can impact the marketplace because of both our product quality, our product innovation, as well as our business opportunity.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And here in the London Centre, you'll see, we start with the retail area.
Absolutely.
So you can see all the products. And for a prospect coming into the centre, that's the natural step. Wow, I had no idea about the product that Amway provides. Then move up to the business opportunity section. So there's a nice flow in that sense. So that's really interesting.
You're exactly right. And then people can identify. Again, sometimes the concept of the business opportunity seems a little, I may have to work on that, but I understand this product, I understand what it does, I understand why I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the chair of the World Federation of DSAs, what are your goals? Maybe the top 3 goals in your...
Well, the first one is that, as I said, that our advocacy in the marketplace, that we have a reputation as an industry in the marketplace that's known for consumer protection, that's known for product quality, that's known for the entrepreneurial spirit and business opportunity. I think those aspects are really important. I think it's also important to be known that our goal is that there's a common framework. We like just about every industry we are a highly regulated industry. Governments have tremendous body of work and laws to govern our industry, just like anyone else, and that should give everyone confidence that we're not off on our own. We work with governments around the world to develop good legislation so that good companies can be successful and that consumers can trust those good companies. And by doing the laws right, you can start to identify those who are not good companies and pretend to be, who are actually trying to hurt people in the marketplace, and to make that differentiation in the marketplace. I think those are the areas that are important to us as an industry as we look to the future, and certainly important to us as Amway. And we've been doing that, as I said, ever since we started.
Yeah. Fantastic. Now we're starting to get some questions.
Okay, good.
Through Facebook.
All right.
Thank you for sending them in. Please keep sending them in because we've got some great ones.
All right, good.
You ready for this one?
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Great question. What are the characteristics that make an Amway business owner successful? Any particular characteristics in your experience, Doug, that you've seen consistent across maybe even the Founders Council members?
Sure.
Is there a common link between those?
Sure,
high achievers.
There's a few things, and I'll try to articulate it. It's a great question.
Yeah.
And again, I would say the characteristics are things that all of us have.
Right.
But maybe we haven't pushed them far enough yet, or really developed them in our lives. I'd say the first one is determination. Right. You have to be able to work through challenges, and when you get tired or when you get discouraged, to say, I'm going to take the next step anyway. I remember a story many years ago of somebody who was in the business and said, I'm going to do this business until I get 100 people to say no. And he said, by the time I got to 100, I was an emerald. Okay. And so they were determined to work through. I think the second characteristic is have aspirations, be able to articulate your goals. What do you want to achieve? What are you looking to accomplish? And what is that step? I think that's an important piece. And then to be able to celebrate and set the new goal. We love, and actually my father, when he was in London and he had his heart transplant almost 19 years ago.
Was it really 19
years ago?
Wow.
When he came back, his message to people was to celebrate achievement. When you achieve something, celebrate. It's okay. But he also was clear to say, but don't celebrate too long.
That's right.
You got to get back to work.
Yeah.
So I think determination and aspirations, setting those goals, and then being determined to work towards them and to work through challenges, because we all have challenges in life. We all have setbacks, and we cannot let those setbacks let us get stuck. There's nothing more frustrating than feeling I'm stuck in a place and I can't move forward. But somebody else can't do that for you. You have to do that for yourself. And that characteristic of saying, I'm going to take the next step, even in a difficult environment, is critical to me.
Right. And the support of the upline supporting his team is critical as well to help people get through the tough time, because there will be tough times.
Our whole infrastructure is built to help that, but we can't do it for somebody. Sure. The upline can't do it for them. The company can't do it for them. They have to have it. But clearly, I think in Amway you have tremendous support. Most of the times in life, you don't have that sort of support around. You're on your own.
Yeah. Normally, as an entrepreneur,
normally as an entrepreneur, you're on your own.
No one to turn to very often.
Well, like we were talking about, that's a piece of that gap.
Fantastic. Good. Great question. Thank you so much. Question from Villiers. We're getting some names now to the question, which is great. How can we attract more young people into the business as we sit and drink excess, which is a great product for the younger generation, of course? I think a great question, because that will drive the business forward in the future, looking at that younger generation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, talk to young people.
Yeah.
The biggest element is to talk to them and to communicate them. And I think the Amway business has been attractive to young people ever since we started.
Right.
And I think sometimes we get in a perception that we're not attractive to young people. We are. Dad and Jay were in their 20s when they started in Nutrilite, in their 30s when they started Amway, in their early 30s when they started Amway. Most of our leaders that are in the business today, most of the Founders Council members, they would have started in their 20s and 30s. Yeah. So they all got their starts when they were young. They've just stuck with it, and we all grow old together. They all look good because they take Nutrilite and artistry, but I think that the key is to make sure we communicate to a young person what their future can look like in the Amway business. And we have countless examples around the world of folks who've made that sort of decision. And then you can, of course, the adventure, the spirit excess articulates it very well. The adventurous spirit that we have in the Amway business. Travel events like this for Founders Council or Diamond events or leadership seminars. The sense of adventure in the Amway business, of seeing the world, when you achieve certain levels of success, that's something that's incredible, but that's part of who we are. Dad and Jay always wanted to see the world. The idea of taking a trip of folks at different levels of success to say, let's go here, let's experience that, let's experience something new. I think there's a sense of adventure in the Amway business that is incredibly attractive to young people, but really it's attractive to all of us. When you're young at heart, when you have a youthful outlook in your future in the world, it's an attractive business opportunity, that's for sure. Yeah,
it's a really great point. Great message for the young folks out there. Another question, what can I do to grow my Amway business? Any kind of key elements where maybe an ABO's been kind of stuck at a certain level to kind of move on that you've experienced?
Sure. I go back to the example we said earlier of, it's a simple business. Right. It's not easy. And to grow the business, the simplicity is you got to find more customers and you got to sponsor more people. And then you help those people that you've sponsored find customers and sponsor people. It's a simple business, but and sometimes can seem repetitive. But I've found that when people try a trick or a shortcut, and I don't mean a trick in a bad sense, I mean a fancy new idea, and there's been a lot of those in the business, that they're not often successful, and they lead everybody back to just a new way of thinking about selling a product and sponsoring somebody, finding a customer and finding a prospect, and keeping those two things together. The biggest piece of building the business is to just do it every day. I wish it was easier. I wish there were a shortcut. It would be fun to find those.
You'd have found it by now.
We would have found it by now. Well, in life, it's the same thing. There's no shortcuts in life. You got to do the work. You go to work every day. You have to work through the challenges. So, I think maybe if you take the size and scope of the business and you break it down, you pick a product category to focus on, or you pick a segment to work on, or you set some more modest goals to achieve so you can do it step by step. Those are some other pieces along the way that maybe take a big goal and a big business opportunity and make it so, okay, I can do it a little bit more step by step. Maybe how you think about it might be helpful too.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Your dad talked a lot about focusing on the next new person,
Sure.
about the new ABO in the business.
Yeah.
That remains the same today, right? All the years later.
Always, yeah.
Is that still a big focus, do you think, for the business?
Absolutely. In fact, what we say at Founders Council at an event like this is our job in the company and with leaders, depending on the market and the situation, just leaders at all levels, and especially the highest levels. That our job is to work together to make sure the business opportunity is better today than it was yesterday. To make sure everything we do, that our products are better today and more competitive in the marketplace than yesterday. That our business opportunity is better today than yesterday. That our support, that our operations are better today than yesterday. That our communications and information flow is better than yesterday. And so we do that because the opportunity has to be refreshed. And we have to get to the next generation and the new person because this is a business for generations.
Right.
We have many of the second generation, next generation of Founders Council members who are starting to be active in their family's business. Some of them go off on their own and then join. Some of them work with their family to expand their business. The Amway story is about the next generation. The Amway story is always about helping a new person get a start. And if you go back to the concept of so many people in the world seem to be stuck in a place that they don't want to be.
Right.
We go for we want to focus on the new person so they can get a start, so they can take a step. Even if someone takes a step with Amway and isn't successful, but they learn to take another step in their life and they're successful somewhere else, if we've had a role in that, what more could we ask for? That's an aspect of the business too that we feel good about.
That's great. We can make a big difference in that respect.
We sure can, absolutely.
Great. Talking of making a difference, we're hearing a lot at the moment about the Power of Five campaign, which is wonderful.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about how that started in the first place and kind of where we're at now, because it seems to be building really tremendously well.
Sure. Well, the Power of Five campaign it starts on the underlying philosophy of success can help other people achieve success, and especially for those who are less fortunate or in a more difficult situation. And so as you look at a company, there's things that we can do and that we do often. We give money to various charities and causes and things of that nature around the world, and it's wonderful to do that, and that's one way to help. But our friends at Nutrilite, a lot of the R&D folks there were looking at malnutrition. And they were saying, well, we have the best product, in the world with Double X and our whole Nutrilite range. Can we find a way to break it down so that we can get this product to somebody in a place where they don't have the nutrition that they need? And they began to study that and focus and say, between the birth and age 5 is a key level of development. And if you're malnourished in that age range, even if you survive, your chances at a full life are greatly reduced. Your brain doesn't develop, your muscles don't develop, your immune system doesn't develop. And so nourishment in that age range is critical. And so we've looked to find a way to say, if we can get some nutrition to parts of the world that are in desperate need of it, to kids in that age range, and we can give them the nutrition and nourishment they need before they reach the age of 5, then they have a chance, a much greater chance at a full and productive life for them, for their families, for their communities. And so we've been focused very much on that. So we developed the product. We've worked with governments around the world to make sure it works. And we've done the studies to show and demonstrate how it helps the nutritional values of kids in that range. We've helped, I think, well over 10,000 kids at this point in time because they need a meal on a regular basis. They need this supplement to their eating on a regular basis. And so we're just getting started, but we're pretty excited about if we can, and that's why I say the Power of 5, if we can help people get good nourishment up to their 5th birthday, then they got a great chance at life.
That's great. That's a wonderful initiative.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah, and there's a great experience here in the centre today about the whole Power of 5 initiative.
Absolutely.
So really
absolutely.
great. Another question, how are regions working together on a global level to launch products consistently, I guess, from region to region? Is there
Sure.
a plan to kind of bring that more into line?
Yes.
From one region to the next? Or?
Sure. As we operate globally, the Amway business, there's markets all over the world. We can learn things here that we can transfer there, and we can launch a product here that we can develop further there. And so what we've done is we've put some centers of excellence, that we call it, in different parts of the world. And one example would be for the artistry line for the beauty category in Asia. We've put a center, an innovation center in Asia, and we've tried to speed up our developmental process so we can develop and get products to market more quickly. And once they're there, we can expand the reach and get them to more markets around the world more quickly. So we're, again, the ability to use technology, the ability to use communications, and that, frankly, the ability that more and more markets are looking to other marketplaces for product ideas and innovations that can be attractive to them. So we are working very much as a global company to make sure that we are structured to take innovation from anywhere, from anyone, and we've had a lot of ABOs who've been incredibly helpful in that area to say, hey, here's a product area that Amway could develop, and we can put resources to it and try to develop it from that way. So those are the things that we're doing.
That's great news. Really great news for all our ABOs around the world.
Absolutely.
Talk about innovation, Doug. We're hearing a lot about companies like Airbnb, Uber, Etsy, the gig economy, as it's now called. Sure. Any insights into what that might mean for us and for direct selling in general? Because this is the hot topic right now, right? Sure. We're all getting into Uber cars here in London, and we're traveling and we're doing it. My kids just do Airbnb the whole time and say, Dad, why are you paying for hotels? Are you crazy? So what are your thoughts on that? Well, exciting or challenging for us?
No, very, very exciting for us, because it speaks to the entrepreneurial spirit. Right. And really, I'm sure we'd almost suggest that those ideas are kind of enabled by the whole idea of direct selling, of what we've been part of for almost 60 years, of taking that entrepreneurial spirit, taking a resource that you have. In the Amway business, it's more of a personal resource, your time, your energy, your determination, and turning it into something that can be successful without all the infrastructure and cost around it. So you can be, in Amway, making money, right away with the first sale of your product as you first develop volume and create volume in your business. So as we look to the gig economy, we tend to think it's a validation in a different way, but it's a validation of the whole direct selling model of what we've been doing for many, many years. That people are interested in earning some income, part-time, modest income, and some people are interested in making it a big piece of their life. But the determining piece is that it's their decision.
Right.
You may have an Uber driver who drives a small period of time, or somebody who wants a little bit more out of it, or somebody who takes a small property and develops it and works with it because they're doing other things that they want to do. The key for us is that it puts the decision in the hands of an individual.
Right.
And to see the way technology has enabled that in some other industries is interesting, and it's fun. But let's not forget how technology has enabled our industry as well, and Amway in particular. The ability for us to apply technology to our business is tremendous. So I've been in different meetings where people from the e-commerce world are saying, well, somebody would introduce us and say, well, they're trying to put Amway out of business. And I said, no, you're not. You can't. I said, I understand what e-commerce is and how that's all working, but you're not going to, because Amway can take all that technology has to offer, and we can apply it to our business to empower and enable the ABO. More information that they can ever have. You don't need to be an expert in every product. You can find and access the information instantaneously. You can help promote your business with what you're able to find. You can transact business. Yeah. You can look at your business in a new way. We can use technology to enhance our product manufacturing, to enhance our product development, to enhance all of our operations as a company. So we've embraced technology since the very beginning when e-commerce came along, or if you want to go before that, from when it started in 1959, from letters to telephones to
remember those?
To voicemail services, whatever it may be. We've always been able to apply technology to the Amway business model and to keep it on the leading edge. So when we see things like Uber and Airbnb and other gig economy entities starting to take off, we get excited because that continues to validate the Amway idea.
Yeah, really interesting insight into that.
Yeah,
really interesting. Thank you so much. Great question. How's your dad? How's Rich? Because he celebrated his 90th birthday. Was it the 6th of March?
He did, March 4.
March 4.
Yeah, close.
Okay.
Yep.
How's he doing?
You know, he's doing great. He, he's 90 years old. As we said, it was 19 years ago, almost 19 years now since his heart transplant that happened here in London. And we're just very blessed to have him. He continues to be an advocate for the Amway business, and we continue to talk about it on a regular basis whenever we're together. I'm going to definitely have to give him a full report when I come back from this event. Okay. How did it go? How's everybody doing? What's going on there? He remains very interested, and he's doing well. We're blessed to have him around with us to keep us on the right track. Sure. And to keep encouraging us. That's really, you know, he's always said his role as a cheerleader, to provide encouragement, and he just is wonderful when he does that, and he continues to make other people feel good,
I'm sure.
And it's a wonderful thing. Yeah, we're grateful.
Yeah, send our love and regards to him when you see him.
Of course, we will.
And I know many ABOs from around the world sent messages on his 90th birthday. I don't know how did he read them all.
And there was it's hard to read them all. That was hard.
Sure, yeah, and videos from different ABO groups, fantastic.
It was wonderful, and I can tell you that he and Mom both are reading them and working through them and have enjoyed them tremendously, and feel very blessed to have so many friends from all over the world.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What's the overall message that you want to deliver, Doug, to our Founders Council members while we're all together here in London? Any particular message that, I know we have the business meeting this afternoon.
Right. Well, you know, the message to Founders Council is really the message of Amway to everybody. And we deliver it to Founders Council when we start, but the message is of opportunity for the future. The message is of our commitment to build on the foundations of the Amway business. You know, we've gone through almost 60 years of marketplace volatility and marketplace changes, and yet the core business model has remained strong. And it's remained strong because of the commitment to the values, whether it's the founders' fundamentals of freedom, family, hope, and reward, or it's our operating values of partnership, integrity, personal worth, personal responsibility, achievement, and of course, free enterprise. When we create those ideas as the foundation of the business, we can deal with anything the market throws at us. We can adjust to changing market conditions on a regular basis, from product to economic to whatever it might be. And we've demonstrated that over our history. So our message is always about the future. And our message is about our commitment to improve the Amway business, to make it better every day, like we were talking about earlier. That it's critical to look forward. So we look back, we celebrate our heritage, we celebrate those foundations, but our determination is to look forward to the future. And it's not for the company, it's for the ABO. Right. It's for the individual. So if you're watching on this program today, if you're tuned in here, this business and everything we do is about you. It's about you and your future and where you can go with your Amway business, the goals that you can set for yourself. And that's what's important about Amway. It's not what the company wants to do, it's what you want to do. It's how you can achieve and move forward. And whether you have modest goals or whether you have grand goals, whatever they may be, the important part is they're your goals. And so our job is to make sure our message remains consistent. We're going to improve this business, and we're doing it not for the company, but we're doing it for ABOs just like you. Whether you're a Founders Council member and you have greater aspirations for your business to help more people, or you've just started with your Amway business, that message is the same. That message is consistent, and it's a message that we're dedicated to living out, not just talking about, but living out on a regular basis.
Good. Thank you so much for that. I know that'll be inspiring to so many ABOs around the world, and so many people wanting to join the business who haven't heard of us before. Yeah. That's the exciting thing.
Well, that's the message that we've been carrying for years, and that we're going to carry into the future. Always finding better ways to do this and to help more people.
Exactly. We're coming to the end of our time together here
Okay.
at Founders Council Live. We have one last question.
All right.
And it's a fun question from an ABO. I don't know who asked the question, but thank you anyway. This could be interesting. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm ready as
You've done
ready
a lot-
as I'll ever be.
You've done a lot of Q&As over the years, I'm guessing. Hundreds. With
Sure.
journalists and at different events.
Sure.
Let me know whether you've ever had this question before. I'm kind of doubting it. Will we ever have a Founders Council event in space?
I've never had that question before. I think if you would have asked years ago if we would ever have a Founders Council event in London, nobody would have known.
Right.
So I think anything in the future is possible. So we got Richard Branson here, who's trying to get all of us into space,
we'll
right?
speak to Richard, perhaps.
Yeah, well,
and
maybe do a bit of a meeting. It'd be hard to fit all of us into the particular space traveling machine, but I think the future is full of possibilities. Whatever that means. You know, I'm always reminded of the story. You know, the U.S. Patent Office many years ago,
right,
where whoever was running it decided that it was time to shut down because everything that could be invented had already been invented, and that was it. There was no more work to be done by the Patent Office because obviously we'd advance as far as we can advance. And how wrong could that be?
Did that actually happen?
That was an actual story that somebody had said. That was his suggestion. But how wrong can that be? You know, human potential has tremendous opportunity. And so whatever that may be to develop, whether that's a Founders Council event in space or not, I don't know. But I don't rule out anything.
If you can dream it, you can achieve it.
Absolutely.
Really.
I don't rule out anything.
That's what our Founders Council members have demonstrated by being here in London.
Yeah, it's just a question of time. I don't know if I'll be at that Founders Council in space
Me
or
neither,
not.
Doug. But
I'll take as much neutral light as I can.
Maybe
but
some of the young ABOs can,
That's right.
can be there in however many years, 10, 20 years time.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for your
it's
time
great.
this morning. That brings us to the end of this session of Founders Council Live. Please tune in again tomorrow. Look on our Facebook page. We've got all the timings of other guests here in the studio. But for now, thanks, Doug. It's been wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, sir. Enjoyed it.
Sharing your wisdom and experience as always. And we'll see you back here in Founders Council Live very soon. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Thank you.